Welcome to the Adding Text and Labels video. Let's take a closer look at what we're going to cover. We'll start by looking at how to apply text. We'll then take a look at how to apply labels. We'll also look at price labels. We'll look at how to add and remove arrows. We'll then look at how to save your chart as a picture. And finally, we'll look at how to add prices to Fibonacci levels. Let's get started. How to apply text. The text tool will come in handy whenever you want to add a note to your chart. Let's take a look at how you can add text. On the menu bar, you will see that you have a little A icon. That's actually an icon for the text tool. Let's click on that and add some text. Once you've clicked on the icon, you'll notice that your mouse pointer has changed. It turns into a little crosshair or a plus sign with an ABC next to it. Simply move to the point in the chart where you want to insert some text. Let's go ahead and insert some text right here. I've just clicked on the chart and it's brought up the text properties box. In the first field, on the comment tab, you can see that we have a name. The MT4 platform will insert a default name for each of the text items that you add. The next field is the text field. In here, we can enter the text that we want to appear on the chart. In this example, I'm going to enter swing low. I'm also going to go ahead and change the name to make it something more descriptive that we can find in the objects list. Down here, we can change the font, and we can see that you can choose from any of the available fonts you have in your system. I'm going to leave that as default for now, but let's go on and change the font size. Let's make that 28. We've also got the color that we can change. Let's go ahead and make that yellow. Down here, you have the Draw Object as Background option. If you choose this option, it means that if the text overlaps on any candles, the candles will appear on top of the text. I don't want to do that, so I'm going to leave that option unticked. That way, the text will always appear on top of the candles. Let's go look at the Parameters tab. In here, you have the time and the value. Right now, it appears as the 24th at 8 and value of 1.294887 in that region. The other interesting thing we have here is the angle in degrees. What this means is you can rotate your text or you can insert at an angle. Let's go ahead and change this to 45 degrees. And let's click on OK and let's see what happens. As you can see, the text has been changed. It now appears on our chart. And if you double click on it, you can select it. You can also drag it and move it around the chart and reposition it. And if I want to edit the text or make any changes to it, all I've got to do is right click on it, go to text properties. You just got to make sure that it is selected. So if you double click, it is selected. You can edit and go to text properties. Let's go ahead and change the color to white. Let's make the size smaller, 14. And let's remove the angle. I'm going to click on OK. And as you can see, the changes have been made. I'm now going to drag it back to position. That looks about right. Now, one of the things to pay attention to is the fact that this particular object, when selected, will have only one node or little box or handle. Now, this is to help orient the text. If we were to change the time frame on this chart, the candles would be different. The text label that we've inserted will remain fixed in that position. And that is where you see the little node. Let's insert a vertical line to help us see the orientation. I've just inserted the vertical line in the same position as the vertical node. If we change to the daily chart, you can see that the candles have changed, but the vertical line remains in the same position as the handle on the object. So while the chart has changed and the candles have changed, the text remains in this exact same position. Let's return to the 1 hour chart. Zoom out a little bit. And there we go. Let's now take a look at the objects list. Just gotten rid of the line. Hold down the Control key and press the letter B. That's going to bring up the objects list. Right now you can see we have just one object, which is the text label that we created. You'll see the name that we inserted for it. Remember, we chose sample. You can see the description that we typed in for it. And that is essentially the text that we entered. Window is set to 0. Remember, 0 is the price chart. If we wanted to edit the label, we can also edit it from within the objects list, simply clicking on the edit button. And if we wanted to delete it, just like any other object, we can select it, click on delete, and it will be removed from the chart. You can also hover over the selected object, right click on it, and choose delete. As you can see, it is selected at the moment, so if I hit the delete key, it's going to be removed. And there you go. So this is how we apply text to our MT4 charts. How to apply labels. Applying a label to your chart is very simple. Let's take a look at how to go about doing this. At the top, you can see on your toolbar, you have a little T icon with a square around it. That is actually the text label icon. If you do not see the icon, right click on it, customize, and you'll be able to find it on the available side. At the moment on mine, it appears unselected, so I've just removed it. Now it appears under available, so I'm just going to click on it, click on insert, and then it will appear under selected. You can then click on close and you'll see it on the toolbar. So if you want to add new text label, just click on the icon, click on the chart, and you will see the parameters window. Now a text label is different from the normal text in the sense that it remains fixed on the chart. I'll show you what I mean. Let's take a look at the different options. First, we have the name, which the MT4 automatically generates. We can change it to something more descriptive. You've also got the text. This is the actual text that will appear on the chart. So I'm just going to type in price action system. You can change the font to any one you want. Let's go ahead and change the size. And we'll also change the color. We'll make that yellow. Draw object as background. There's no need to use this option. I'm just going to leave that unticked. Let's go to the parameters tab. This is where the major differences between the text label and the normal label object occur. On the left, you have the anchor points, top left corner, top right, bottom left, and bottom right. You can select any one of these options, and it will insert the text in that area. On the right-hand side, you have X distance and Y distance, and in here, you can enter numbers. When you enter a number in here, it means that the text label is going to be inserted the particular number of units away from the corner. Let's just modify these, and I'll show you what I mean. The X and Y distance is relevant to the anchor points. At the moment, we're going to put the text 50 units away from the top left corner, 50 away from the top corner, and 50 away from the left corner. Just click on OK, and there you have it. That's 50 units away from the top and 50 units away from the left-hand side and on the left upper corner. Now, if you want to change this, all we've got to do is double-click on it to select it. Right-click, label properties, and we can make any changes. Let's assume we want to reduce the X distance and Y distance. We'll make it 20. Click on OK, and you can see it has now been adjusted. As you can see, when I'm scrolling on my chart, the main thing you'll notice is that the text label remains fixed. I can scroll the chart, drag it left or right, and it does not affect the text label. With the normal text, you'll find that it will also be attached to the price chart, so it will move as you drag the chart. Remember, this is also an object, so we can remove it from the objects list. Control and B brings up the object list, and as you can see, we have our text label. We have the name that we inserted for it. We also have the text that we entered, and we have the window set to 0, which, remember, is the price chart. If you want to edit, click on Edit, brings up the properties window. We can make any changes that we want here. Click OK. If you wanted to delete this label, just select it, click on delete, and it's gone. Next, let's take a look at price labels. Price labels. Let's take a look at how to use price labels. On the top toolbar, you'll notice that we have the arrows icon. If you don't see the arrows icon, simply right-click on the toolbar, go to Customize, and right now I'll remove it from the selected side. If it's not available in your toolbar, it will be listed on the available side. Click on it, click on Insert, and it should then appear. So click on Close. Let's go back. Once you have the icon available, click on the little arrow, then go down to the left price label and the right price label. All you've got to do is click on it. You'll notice that the mouse cursor has changed. It has a little plus sign or a crosshair and a little arrow there. All you've got to do now is go to a point where you want to insert the price label and click on it. And as you can see, it's inserted the price label for us. Now, unlike other objects, if you try to click it to select it, it's not going to allow you to do that. What you need to do in order to select this is double click on the little horizontal line that protrudes from it. So if you can see, I've just double clicked it. It's now inserted the node. Now if I right click, it will show me arrow properties on the submenu. And if I click on that, it'll bring up the properties window. Now we can modify the style. We can change the name, description, and any other changes that you'd like to make to it. Call that price label. We can now insert a description. Call it my price label. Down here, you can see the familiar style controls. We can change the color. And you can also change the size of the price label. The size is controlled by the thickness of the line. Let's go to parameters. You can choose the time and the value, and also the arrow code. Arrow code 5 is the code for this particular price label. Once you've got your parameters set, click on OK. As you can see, the style changes have been applied. Now, if you want to drag and move this around, you're unable to do so by clicking on the price, but you've got to click on the horizontal line. Now, once I click and move it around, you can see that it changes as I move it around the chart. You can see that it does change to reflect the price that it is currently pointed at. Now, this is really good for pointing out highs or pointing out relevant prices or support and resistances, maybe targets you're looking for. It's also good for just keeping that levels that you're looking. Now we can go to right price label. It's essentially the same as the left. So click on the chart where you want it to appear. You'll notice that the style will be the same as the previous price label you have applied or changed. These are also objects. You can find them on the objects list. If you cannot click on the little horizontal line on the objects list, go to the list, identify the arrow that you want to access. You can tick it, and you can make the usual edit and delete changes that you want here. Like all other objects, if you want to delete them, you can select them and right-click and choose delete. You can also choose delete all selected since both are selected. Or we could just go ahead and hit the delete key, and that will remove it from our charts. Next, we'll take a look at some more arrows. Arrows. In the previous video, we looked at a way to use one type of arrows. Let's take a look at some of the other options available. On the top toolbar, go to the arrows icon, click on that, and you can choose any of the available arrows. We have thumbs up, thumbs down, arrow up, arrow down, stop sign, check sign, and we've already covered the left and right price labels. Click on the one you want, and you'll notice that your mouse cursor will change. Go to the chart, position it where you would like to insert it, and click. As you can see, the arrow has been inserted. If you'd like to select the arrow, double click on it, and a little box will appear around it. You can now click on the arrow and drag it around like any other object and insert it where you want. Once you've inserted in the position you want, double click it and it will be locked. So you can then drag the chart and the arrow, as you can see, will follow the chart. Let's take a look at another type of arrow. Let's insert a check sign. Once again, double click to move it around and position it. The arrows tool is an object, and like all other objects, it will appear in the objects list. Let's go to the objects list. So here you can see the arrow. If you want to edit them, click on the edit button. You can change the style or the color. Remember, the size of the arrow is controlled by the thickness of the line. If you want to delete your arrows, you can delete them from the objects list. Alternatively, double click, make sure all are selected, and hit delete. How to save a picture. The MetaTrader 4 platform has a really cool way that allows you to share your charts with some of your trading friends, post them on forums, send them via email or via instant messenger. All you have to do is go up to the File menu, click on File, and then go click on Save as Picture. You can even right-click on your charts and go down to the Save as Picture option. If you click on this option, it's going to present you with a couple of options. As you can see here, you have 3 different options that you can select. You can choose to save an image of the active workspace. If you choose the active workspace, it's going to take a snapshot of everything that you see on the platform, including your menus and the parts here at the bottom. If you choose the active chart option, it will allow you to change the height and the width. Now this might seem like a good idea, but if you get the height and the width mixed up, you might cut off a bit of your chart. The best option when saving your chart as an image is to use the active chart as is option. Recently, the MetaQuotes company has introduced a post an image online feature. This feature allows you to post the image to the chart service and get a link. Now, if you do not want to share your charts with the general public, I would suggest that you untick this option. So let's untick that, and I'm going to go Save Chart as Is, and it's going to take a snapshot of everything that's present on my chart right now. It's going to ask me to choose a location where I'd like to save this file, and I think I'm just going to put this on my desktop. And as you can see, the file has been saved, and it's now been opened in the Windows Photo Viewer. This image is like any other photo or image you may have on your computer. You can email it to your friends, you can upload it to a forum, you can even send it to your friends via instant messenger. So as you can see, it's really easy to share your chart images. How to add prices to Fibonacci levels. Trading with Fibonacci is a very popular technique, and one of the problems that traders who use Fibonacci have is seeing the prices on their Fibonacci levels. Let me show you what I mean. I'm going to click on the Fibonacci retracement tool, and I'm going to draw a simple Fibonacci retracement. As you can see here, the Fibonacci drawing tool will insert the different Fibonacci levels, but it does not include the prices. And what that means is, in order to get the prices, you've got to get out the crosshair, and you've got to be able to line them up with the Fibonacci levels to determine what the prices are. Now there's an easy way to do it all automatically. Double click on the diagonal Fibonacci line, right click, and go to Fibonacci properties. Click on the Fibo levels. Then go down to the description column and double click on any of these descriptions. In order to display prices on your Fibonacci levels, all you need to do is enter % and $sign. Now, let's click on the next one to save that. And watch what happens when I click OK. You can now see that on the 0% Fibonacci level, the price has been included. But it's not very readable, so let's go back and edit this a little bit. Now, over here, what I want to do is insert some kind of separator so that I can tell the Fibonacci level apart from the price. So let's insert a little dash there. I'm going to copy this, and let's do another example. Let's insert this in brackets. This might make it easier to see for you. And let's click OK. Now you can see we have two different examples. It's a lot easier to read. We can tell that the 0.0 is the Fibonacci level, and here we can tell the price. We can see a separation. It might be even easier to work with the brackets. You can see that the 23.6 level is outside the brackets, and inside we can see the price. Now you can insert the price anywhere you like. Let's insert the price ahead of the Fibonacci level, like that. And let's see what happens there. As you can see, we are now presented with the price and then the Fibonacci level. So it's up to you to decide which method works better for you, what's easier to read. You can insert any characters that you want in there, and it should work with no problems. And once you've decided on which look you like, all you've got to do then is change the rest of the Fibonacci levels like this. So I've decided I'm going to go with the brackets because that just looks a lot easier for me, and I think it'll suit my particular style. I'm just going to modify the rest of the levels. Just be sure not to include too many additional spaces when you're copying. And that's the last one. I'm going to click on OK. And now you can see all my levels now have the prices displayed. And the best part is, the next time you draw Fibonacci retracement, you're going to see the prices inserted by default. So that's it for this video. Thank you for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye for now.